of the best in baseball might have missed their day. Everyone belongs in the Great Hall of Fame. Those who were chosen and given their big chance played hard as anybody and never had a glance, playing through the pain that would end it for most, but kept up the battle and never would coast, dealing with people impressed just the same, for a chance that someone would remember their name. Everyone belongs in the Great Hall of Fame.
Hey, let me tell you something. Y'all remember Naha, don't you, from the White Sox? The catcher from the White Sox?
Remember Naha Rodney?
Yeah, Bill Naha Rodney.
Yeah, I know.
First thing, what I like to do tonight, I'm not going to talk much. I got the greatest guest in the whole world, but I got some people on here that I believe there's two guys that's on here, Freddie Lynn and Louis Tiant. They should be in the Hall of Fame. And, you know, to this day, I always tell El Tiante, whenever we just see each other in fantasy camp, that he deserves to be in. And Freddie Lynn, who had to be one of the best center fielders, best outfielders in the game of baseball when I played, and one of the greatest ball players I've ever seen. And he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame also. But I just want to introduce Freddie Lynn, Louis Tiant, Governor Patterson. I want to introduce Daniel Tiant, Louis' son. Thank you very much for being on tonight. This is going to be a great segment. I think that when you have people like a Freddie Lynn and Louis Tiant, whenever we played against them, when we're up in Fenway Park and when they came to Yankee Stadium, and I was talking to them before we came on, we had the greatest rivalry in the game of athletics, I think.
Absolutely.
And Freddie was talking about, you know, when he went to Southern California, they had rivalries between UCLA and Southern California. That's fine, but they didn't have the fights in the stands where we did whenever we played. That was half the the pleasure was whenever we had a fight, there was always a few fights in the stands. So that was fun in Yankee Stadium to watch that, and also in Fenway Park. And you had most of the college kids in center field, and they hated us, and they threw in bottles at us and batteries at us. But it was fun. It was great. The rivalry was unbelievable, and I really appreciate you coming on, Freddie. And Marty Appel has to be one of my closest friends. Marty is a narrator. He has written so many great books, and I told him he should need to be in the Hall of Fame with the authors. And one day he will be. And Marty, it's great to have you. It's great to be your friend for so many years. And we basically started our career together. And so he knows the rivalry between the Yankees and the Red Sox. So we'll get into that. And Governor Patterson, and I know that you're a Met fan and you got the S on the Superman. But, hopefully we'll have baseball in a few months, and it's going to be fun again. But again, Freddie, thank you very much. Marty, thank you. Daniel, Louis, thank you for coming in. And Marty, also, why don't we talk about, first thing what I like to do, Marty has the greatest picture in the back. Every time I see Marty, I look at the picture in the back, and I look at this, and I know it's Florida someplace, and I know it has to be around about 90 degrees, and it's beautiful. So I know he's not in New York where it's snowing up there and it's raining up there and it's freezing. So Marty, tell me about your backsplash, and tell me a little bit about that, okay?
Sure. It's a photograph. I mean, not really there. You recognize it, Freddie?
You know, I'm looking at the backdrop, and if I could see more of that center field backdrop, I might get an idea, but I just can't.
I don't think you were ever there. I don't think you were ever there, Louis. But this is
No.
St. Petersburg, and this is Huggins Stengel Field.
Okay.
And it's where the Mets used to work
Mets and the
out
Cardinals.
before they went to Al Lang Field to play games, because if
Right.
the Cardinals had a game, the Mets would work out here.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
the field itself goes back to 1925 with Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. This was spring training for the Yankees all the way back to 25. And those trees are very identifiable in old newsreels and old photographs of the Yankees from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and then the Mets in the 60s. So I took the picture myself when I visited there, and I think it's a pretty cool background.
Well, when you said 1925, then you should be talking to Louis because he'd be better apt to talk about that.
Hey, hey, watch your
Oh,
mouth.
absolutely.
Watch your
Louis
mouth,
close to
boy.
about
What's
105.
the matter with you?
Hey, Daniel, how old is your dad?
Tell him your real age. Louis, come on, you gotta tell him your real age. Hey, Daniel.
I am 80 years old, but I tell you what, I'm supposed to be, what do you call it, 4 years early, younger.
No,
Okay?
month.
Because I'm
Month.
born in 1940. I'm born, no, I'm born in 1940, and then they put in my paper, do my paper in 1944. Okay, I think I should be 4 years younger. What are you guys talking about? Yeah.
Now,
I
every
don't
time
think
we
the
see
age
Louis,
matter.
I
I
mean,
don't think age matter anymore. You know, you just do what you do, and lucky you live in that old. You know, and I thank God every day I still alive. I still do things I used to do, and I no complain about my life. God been good to me, and
Freddie, let me
as
ask you
long as I see
something. Before we even start, how was it to be able to play on Louis' team? How was it?
You know, part of the fun
You got to
for
be
me-
honest with me. Be
Well,
honest
as
with me.
being a center fielder, as being a center fielder, right?
Yeah.
So Louis on the mound, and half the time when he's winding up, he's looking at me. And I'm saying, no, Louis, Louis, the plate's the other direction. You know, he'd be doing this thing, and I say, sooner or later, he's got to pick up the plate, you know? But he was so much fun to be around. His personality in the clubhouse, I loved it because between he and Fisk, all the reporters would go to those guys and ask them questions, and they would leave Rice and I alone because those guys would talk and we wouldn't say anything. So it was perfect for us.
Yeah. Yeah, every time I turn around and looking at you, I just telling you moving to left, moving to right.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah, and I'd be saying, don't
What I
hang that
used to do.
curveball.
No, I know. But you know, let me tell you one thing, my friend. You're the best. I see. I tell you.
Thank you, man. Louis. He
And
was,
you know
you know
how
what?
many, and you know how many games you saving us? A lot of games. I tell you. So you was good. You was great. I told you. And,
He was great.
Like Blomberg said, you should be in the Hall of Fame. Telling you.
Y'all two
And then
should
at
be.
my time too. Yeah, in my time, you was the best. I tell you, it was good, and you know, you're happy with the pitching and stuff. And I think everything you play, because anything inside the ballpark, you go get it. You saving us a lot of runs, a lot of games too. You know,
I would like to say something.
and I'll be,
I want to
Thanks, Louis.
say,
Appreciate that.
I want to say what an
Yeah.
honor it is to be with both of you guys, because what Ronnie said, in my heart, in my mind, you're both Hall of Famers. I always mention you, Louis, when I think about
Yeah.
Tommy John and Jim Cott, and you should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Premier
Yep.
pitcher
You're
of
right.
my lifetime.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
I remember so well when you broke in, won MVP Rookie of the Year the same season, and everybody was comparing you to Joe DiMaggio. And I'm 72 now, so I never really saw DiMaggio play, and I thought, what a privilege. I'm actually getting to see Joe DiMaggio here, except he's playing center field for the Red Sox. So it was such a kick to watch you guys play the game of baseball so well and so perfectly.
I'd like to say one thing about Louis, if I could. You know, when we had a big game, we wanted LT on the mound. And when he started a game, most of the time he finished it. I can't remember a game where he didn't finish, to be honest with you. If you remember the 75 series, I don't know how many pitches he threw in 3 games, but it's close to 1,000. But he just wouldn't give up the ball. I mean, he would pitch until the job was done. And that's what, as a defender, that's what we wanted. We wanted a guy that was going to compete. And Louis was the ultimate competitor. If we had a game that we needed to win, we wanted, and most of the time we had LT on the mound.
Yep.
Me, there was nothing in baseball as dramatic as Louis finishing his warm-ups in the bullpen and then taking that walk to the Red Sox dugout. It was like a matador entering the arena. You know, the place would go crazy. It was such theater, but of course it was legitimate. He did his warm-ups, he went to the dugout, and the place, Fenway, would go crazy. And I said, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
The only the Yankees.
It was good. It was good. I enjoy it.
When the Yankees, there was so much energy in that ballpark. It was so much energy after we landed at Logan's Airport and then go to the hotel, because number one, you'll see some fans, plus you'll see some people that hated us, and they'll say some stuff. Then you walk around down in Boston, and you can't go to many restaurants in Boston without them saying too much. They know who you are, basically. And the first thing you do, you look at the Boston Globe and you read everything bad about what we have done. And you knew that there's going to be some friction whenever we played against you when we used to go to the ballpark. But it was fun. I mean, it was electrifying, and that's what sports was supposed to be. It was so much fun. Even though we had the competitiveness, we really hate, people don't realize nowadays how easy it is for these guys. They take each other out to dinner, they pat each other on the back, and they have friends. They talk to each other on first base. They talk to each other on second base. And I mean, we hated one another basically because we knew that if we slide into second base and against Burleson or Doug Griffith or whoever's out there, that you're going to come up swinging. And if you know that you're going to have to slide in the home plate, Fist is going to be taking off his headgear and he's going to be swinging. And our whole outfielder and all our pitchers from the bullpen, they want to rush in there. So it was really, really fun. Freddie, it was really, really fun. I mean, there was so much energy. And the good part about it, and I'm not going to talk anymore, I'm going to let Marty do the whole thing, is whenever a Catfish or Mel Stottlemyre or one of the guys or Guidry have to go in the bullpen, and they have to throw the bullpen before they come into the game. The energy in center field with the college kids, it was just incredible. It's like a Super Bowl. It's like, it's people don't realize it. And when you facing somebody like Louis Tiant and you face against Spaceman, even though, how a little erotic he is and whatever, but it's going to be a tough game because he doesn't like to come out. None of those guys, none of your guys on your team like to come out of the game. And, and when Tiant was pitching, let me tell you something. And being a hitter, I don't know how many times you hit off of Louis, but let me tell you something. He's one of a hell of a pitcher. This guy, number one, you had no idea where the ball is coming from. Number one, you have no idea what angle the ball is going to come from. And him throwing that good fastball, and then his slow breaking pitch, and then his little slurve or good slurve. It was unbelievable. It was tough. The only guy that could hit him, and I I think he hit 1,000 off of you was probably Oscar Gamble, right, Louis?
Oscar, yeah. But
Oscar
you
hit
know,
it.
that's what he said. He said he hit me pretty good. I don't know, man. You know what? I tell you what. When you pitching against New York, no, and all those years when I come in 1964, the time I finished, you know, they have one of the best thing. I think only the 64 was the last year they win after all those years. And then they start getting a little bad 2-3 years after that, and then they come back. But you know, you have to remember one thing. I beat the Yankee 25 times. I think Jim Palmer and me, the only two pitch in the big league. They beating the Yankee 25 times. You know, and I don't know, man. I have some problems with them, but I was lucky in the way I get a lot of guys out. Oscar, and I think no Oscar. I think the guy hit me better in the Yankee was Mickey
I'm just
Rivers.
joking you. I'm just pulling your leg. But, hey, I'm just
bro.
pulling your leg, big guy.
Bro.
You know, because down in fantasy
bro.
camp, he told you he took you deep a lot of times.
Yeah, I know. He said he did, but I get him out. You know, it's the same. But the guy hit me better.
Remember what Oscar would say when he hit a home run? Ronnie,
What?
what Oscar would say when he hit a home run? He'd
I
swing,
don't know. He knows
the ball would be out. He'd be holding the bat on his way to first, and he'd say, "Come get the bat, bat boy."
No. But you know what? I tell you what. All we talking about the rivalries and all the things. I play for I play for Boston. I play for New York. You know, and in my point of view, I think what we do best was we play to the max. We want to beat each other. You know, and I said the word hate. I don't like to use it because I don't believe in nobody should hate anybody. You know, you might dislike one guy, you might dislike the other one. Because, like I said, I play for both teams, and I never heard any players for us and for New York. They say, I hate the Red Sox. And the only two guys they don't like it was Thomas Monson, Lou Pinella, and Carlton Fisk. They don't like it, Carlton Fisk for no reason. I tell you what. And the day they fight, remember that day we fight? Pinella told me that day, yeah, remember, he told me, Pinella, he said, you know, you better tell this guy, every time I come into the home plate, he talking about my mother, what did he care about my mother? He don't know my mother. And I said, if he do that to me, I'm going to fight with him. And that day, that's what happened. He's in the home plate. I think Fish tagged him really hard. Boom. They started a big fight. And that's when big league get hurt. They dislocating the shoulder, you know. And that's the thing I all the time I'm worrying about fight. If somebody get hurt, you know. And you know, when you got a bunch of guys, 50 guys, one on the top of the other one, you don't know what's going to happen, you know. And that's we're lucky. We don't get that many guys hurt in all those years we play, you know. But we having fun. I enjoy both sides. When I play here against the Yankee, with the Yankee against the Red Sox. And it was fun. I got a lot of guys I enjoy and play with them. They were good to me and good to them, you know, and we get along fine. And I know one thing, when we go to the field, I play for Boston, we want to beat the Yankees so bad. You can believe it. And then when I go to New York, play the Boston, we want to kill the Boston play, you know. But that's what you create through here, you know. The saying about you know, we want to beat and we go to the other level. And but it was a good thing. I like it because it was good for baseball. It's good for the fans. And I think the fans like to see that thing. I enjoy it. I don't have no problem with that. But I can say that I have a good time with both. You know, I know I play longer with Boston, you know, and I have to say that Boston and that play was my favorite because I played with them long. I only played 2 years for New York, but you know, I don't have no problem when I play over there. I told you, you know, when I get there, after all those years I play against him, you know, the guy gonna try to put me in the side. And no, hey, I get along good with everybody. With Thurman, forget it. He was great. You know, the what do you call him? Bucky Dane, Granero, Mickey, Oscar, Chamble. You know, I mean, the second base.
Randall.
Willie.
Eh?
Willie Randall.
Willie
Willie
Randall, yeah, Willie, the gentleman. He's a gentleman. Well, he's a gentleman. And, you know, all these guys, you know, and I have a good time with them. You know, Pinella, it was crazy. But he was good. He was a good crazy. Pinella was a good crazy. Pinella was tough, you know. But you know, I have a good time really. And then with us, when I play in Boston.
No.
We have a great team, you know, we have a great players. And I think, you know, when you're looking around all those years I played with Boston, we got all these guys, Freddie, Burleson, Rico, Jazz, Cooper, Canton Fisk, you know, all these guys in there, Dwight Evans, Danny Doyle, you know, I know, you know, and that's what happened when 75, remember when we World Series, when they're talking about we was the underdog, and the people say, well, the Cincinnati going to beating us. I said, no, we got a team, we can beat anybody. And I bet my money on my team. I know because of what we have, what we see. When you play with guys 6-7 years in a row, those guys was good. And I tell you, we're not really, you can say, oh, we are loving each other, we love it. No, we just like each other. We respect each other. That's the number one thing. And then, but when we go crossing that line, we want to win. We want to beat anybody, you know. And that's why I say, nah, we have a good team and we can beat anybody. And that's why I have my respect for the team. All those years, all these players I play, I love them. I'm still good friends, and you know, I can say I hope I can see for a long time to coming because we still get along great. I know Freddie, forget it, Freddie was great. He's great, you know, and every time we know we see each other, we treat it like a brothers, and that's a good thing. That's a good feeling when people like each other and respect each other. That's a good thing.
People really did not know the small, you know, the small amount of players that played up in the big leagues that we became very, very close friends with. And, you know, we go to Yankee fantasy camps and most of these guys, they just don't play on one team anymore. You know, I mean, like yourself, you played on a few teams and, you know, Freddie played on a few teams and, you know, and you make friends with so many guys and, you know, and we have such a small fraternity. And, you know, unfortunately, you look at in the last couple of years, we lost so many Hall of Famers and, you know, we're losing people like almost every day, it seems like. And it's, you know, it's really, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. You and Freddie and, you know, I mean, you know, when you lose a Hank Aaron or Don Sutton or, you know, or Joe Morgan and, you know, these guys that, you know, we have lost in the last, and, you know, in the last few years, in the last few months, I mean, you look at yourself and you step back and when we used to play, we used to put on our uniform. We never thought we were going to get injured. We thought nothing's going to ever happen. We always thought we were going to always play baseball. And, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, the age, you get a little bit older and you can't do it anymore and your shoulder goes and your back leaves you. And all of a sudden, you know, baseball leaves you a little bit. But only thing what we have now are, you know, close-knit friends like, you know, like us. And even though if we don't talk to each other every day or if we see each other once every 3, 4, 5 years, it's like it's a family. We come back and it's a great feeling. I haven't seen Freddie in so many years and you know, and he's never changed. He's always looked the same. And you know, and you never got older, big guy. You never got older.
Yeah.
And you know,
Well,
you got a
Ron,
lovely wife. You're very, very lucky, big
I don't
guy.
have to throw a baseball anymore.
Ron, I think it's been 11 Hall of Famers have died in the last 11 months. The first one was Al Kaline last February. And
11.
a lot of great players. And I thought over the weekend, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think very much was made over the death of Hank Aaron. I think because he just got squeezed between Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle and Roberto Clemente and other players. And he was, kind of quiet. He didn't say that much. But his was a tremendous story. And then, chasing the icon, chasing the record set by Babe Ruth, and all those fans that didn't want him to make it, they wouldn't have known. Babe Ruth would have been the first player out there to congratulate him if he was around when he passed away.
You know, Marty, didn't you do just a big thing on Hank a few days ago, or?
Yeah, I mean, I encountered Hank 7 or 8 times. It was because he was a national leaguer and I was working for the Yankees all those years. But every time I saw him, I knew I was like in the presence of royalty. And just the way he carried himself, there was something really magical about him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then I remember one day in 1971, in March, in spring training, the Braves came to Fort Lauderdale to play. And I'm a young public relations guy, but I needed to get a picture with Aaron. So I went to him and, he couldn't have been nicer. And we took a picture and I introduced myself, Marty Appel, pleasure to meet you. I work for the Yankees. That night was the Ali Frazier fight.
Oh.
At Madison Square Garden.
March 8th.
And they was showing it on closed circuit theater in Fort Lauderdale. And it was the closest for West Palm. So Aaron goes to the theater along with Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio and Whitey Ford. I mean, the theater had more celebrities than were at Madison Square Garden. And in the lobby, as we're going in, Aaron says, "Hey, Marty, how you doing?" And I couldn't believe he remembered my name. So I love the guy forever for that. That was wonderful.
I have a Henry Aaron story. In 1975, I had a pretty good year, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't on the All-Star ballot then because rookies weren't on the ballot. Yeah, I was a write-in. So I made the All-Star team and I'm going to Milwaukee and I'm happy as a clam, basically. And I'm just beside myself. I'm on the team and I'm going around introducing myself to some of the players because you don't see them during the regular season. And Hank Aaron's on the team. And now I watched Hank play as a kid. And I almost said, "Hi, Mr. Aaron, I'm Freddie Lynn." I caught myself because he would have had swiped at me. But I said, "Hi, Hank, I'm Freddie Lynn, Boston Red Sox." And he goes, "I know who you are." And I said, "Oh, that's so cool." So that was a big highlight for me, being a rookie and getting some affirmation from Hank Aaron that at least he knew who I was.
Wonderful.
What a great, I mean,
great.
he is one of the
It was a
sweetest
great.
players ever in the game of baseball. And you could living in Atlanta, and he was so big in Atlanta, and you never hear anything bad, anything derogatory about Hank Aaron. Everything is just like Marty said, it's a royalty. And that's the type of person he was. And he was that type of human being. And he was so nice to people. And, when I used to, when they moved when Hank went to Milwaukee Brewers, he came from where, Marty?
On the Braves.
He was in, where was he?
We started with the Milwaukee Braves, then they
Right.
became the Atlanta Braves, and then he finished his last 2 seasons back in
With the
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee Braves. Okay, when he first came,
The Brewers, the last 2 seasons.
watch him. This guy, he was, we used to come to the ballpark and play cards around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he's out there swinging. He's out there, catching fly balls in right field. And he's working just as hard as anybody. And when he's taking batting practice, is so fun to watch somebody that has a swing like a Hank Aaron. Freddie Lynn is the same way. When Freddie had that swing, he had such a beautiful left-handed swing. And, and of course, Henry swung from the right side, and he had that quickness swing. And Freddie had that quickness swing. And whenever he hit the ball, I mean, you could tell that he's hitting. Him and Jim Rice. You can always tell those two because it's a different sound of the ball that hits the bat. And when Hank used to hit, it was the same way. It was like a crackle. And, you could tell greatness when they're just in the batting cages and taking BP and just walking on the field. And that's the type of person.
Lefties always have the beautiful picturesque swings because, it takes them towards first as they follow through. And the righties are sort of backwards and have to turn around to get to first base. So
yeah, but I've seen some ugly left-handed swingers. And Freddie did not have, hey, let me tell you something. And Freddie had a beautiful swing. I think there was two left-handers that probably one of the two sweetest stroke that you've seen from the left side, Rod Carew and Freddie Lynn. And those two guys right there that's a perfect swing. It's a perfect swing. And,
I appreciate that you compared me with Rod because, I played with Rodney. I played against him and I played with him 4 years with Anaheim. And Rodney was a magician with a bat.
Correct.
He could do whatever he wanted to do. There would be no shift on a guy like Rodney. You put 4 or 5 guys on the right side, well, he will bunt you to death. He'll hit 500 if you do that. If you gave him a little gap between third and short, he'd hit the ball there. He had the ability to hit the ball where he wanted. And he could set pitchers up to get to the pitch that he wanted so that he could do what he wanted. Not only was he great with his hands, but he was great with his head. He really thought about what he was doing. He'd set pitchers up. And if you made a mistake with Rodney, he could take you deep.
You pay. Yeah.
Well, you look at Fred, you look at yourself. You gap to gap hitter, and that's who you are. You could be a 35 home run hitter nowadays, a 40 if you wanted to, and you hit your 220, 225. But that's why you hit the 280s to 290s and 300s because you hit everything to left center to right center, and you didn't try to pull everything.
That's why you can't shift on a guy like me. And I'd like to think if I'm playing in today's game and I saw 4 or 5 guys on that right side, I'm not too proud to bunt.
But when they let you do that now, they won't
change my swing. I'll hit a double down the left field line. I will make an adjustment. But I see so many players and with the analytics of the game saying that we're going to all try to hit long balls. I know we're going to get off topic here, but this is a sore spot for me. So left-handed hitters especially, these are the guys that they're going to shift on, right? Because they can load up that right side of the field and still have a short throw to first. Right-handers, they don't shift as much because it's a longer throw for the guys that's shifting. So lefties need to really make an adjustment. They're not going to abolish the shift, everybody. It's up to the hitters to make an adjustment. It's not that difficult. You're in the big leagues. You should be able to do it. And just work on it in BP. And when they start to shift, you say, thank you very much. I'll take all those hits all day long.
Absolutely.
I told you, what Carew was, I played with him in 1970 in Minnesota. He was the best 2-strike bunt hitter I never seen. The 2-strike, he on the ball. And he bunt perfect. He did that to me, against me. And I told him I'm going to hit him in the neck. I told him I'm going to hit you. I told him, you do that again to me, I'm going to hit you right in your neck.
Gentlemen,
we're coming.
Sorry to cut you. I can't believe I'm cutting off Louis Tiant. Thanks to our friend Levy. We got a special guest that's about to join us. So just give him a minute and he'll be right with us. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead, El Tiante.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. He was great. Carew, like I said, he can run.
Look who's here.
He can run.
Quick.
Who?
Look. Mickey.
Wait, I better put my helmet on.
Who is
No,
it?
turn your. Lenny, tell them how to turn the mic on.
Mickey, on your right-hand side or left-hand side of the screen, you should have a mute button or speaker. Either mute. There you go.
The quick.
Yo, you look great on the screen.
Hey,
Who is
well,
it?
that's my favorite guy right there. Wait.
Oh, man. No.
Right there.
No.
I'm looking at my favorite guys in here. Hey, not you there. Hey,
Why do
don't
you
put
do
your
that?
head on. We could talk.
Okay,
My favorite guy, Freddie.
Hey,
Freddie is my favorite guy. I saw Freddie play ball in school,
Hey,
college in California.
how you doing, man?
hey.
Come here.
You don't say
You
hello.
got Tion, you got my favorite guys on here. I can't believe this.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some English lesson, boy.
Well, thank you, a great
You know
one.
how to speak English.
I'm glad to see you.
Crazy boy.
Matter of fact, they're talking about you today. So you know I'm in Miami right now. They said, "What happened to Louis? What happened to Louis, your favorite friend?" I said, "Oh, Louis was the one that got me in trouble. I'm a young player coming up. I won't tell Fred all the bad stories about you. Fred, he don't want to hear all the bad. Fred, you lucky, Fred. You lucky you got him. You got what when you had a chance to get him. Ronnie is great. See, Ronnie wasn't no trouble, but Fred, this guy got me in so much trouble down in Miami. You couldn't breathe. Latin All-Stars. Freddie, I went to play ball 15 and a half years old with the Cuban All-Stars. Paul Casanova, Jackie Hernandez, Marcelino Lopez, guys like that. And they were young guys at that time. And Louis got me in trouble. Well, you know, Fred, you look at that face, Fred.
Yeah. He's so innocent, right?
Uh-oh.
We know better.
You know I know.
Oh, man.
Well, how about Ronnie? You got Ronnie there. Ronnie, it's great to see you. Louis, we just talked we talked you up today. Me and a couple of guys was going over some things, and they asked me, you ain't see Louis no more? I said, well, Louis was down to Georgia, and he be moving around, and I think he gonna stay down in Florida. Remember when we come down there, you say you're gonna stay down in Florida for a while, and then you're gonna go back. I said, well, he might still coach. Louis might still coach the team. Because Louis do a lot of work. That's one thing he do. He helps out with a lot of organizations, doing a lot of good things. So I get a chance to see him looping out, doing a lot of good things for the kids, and that's a wonderful thing right now. What we appreciate him doing. He know he's my main man. That's my main man, Freddie. Freddie, you with a great bunch of guys. Ronnie, there's so many stories I could tell you about him.
No, don't you tell him.
No, he know.
I know.
Ronnie, I'm down here in Palm Beach, and
Somewhere.
and Ronnie,
You don't know where you are?
Fred, the kids would call. Now, Louis, tell Fred how good you was with me. He took care of me, Fred. Fred, I got to let you know, he took care of me. So I can't say nothing bad about him. Everywhere he went, I went.
I got to tell a story about Mickey Rivers, right? So I always wondered why he wore his helmet out to center field. So we're playing the Yankees in Fenway Park, and as Ron alluded to, the fans in center field could be boisterous, but they threw things as well. And so I'd come back out to center field after the Yankees were back out there, and there'd be, well, I'm not going to tell you what was out there, but they've been throwing it at Mick. And so now I know why he had that helmet on, to protect himself, because you should have seen all the stuff that I was picking up in center field.
Oh, I can't believe that. Well, see, that's why I gotta tell, I gotta tell them all. Fred was one of my greatest players. I had opportunity, chance, and wanted to play with Louis, and he was one of the best outfielders I'd seen at that time.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I got to give him that credit. You say, "Oh, you know, like it wasn't Louis." You know me. He know me definitely with Ronnie. I can't say too much, but Fred was one of the greatest ball players I've seen. I would want to play with along with, because I know how he could cover the different parts of the ground out there. It was easy for me. It made it easy. Then Louis buddy Reggie, you know, I could have tucked Fred. It's amazing, Fred. It's amazing. And I always talk about Fred. They asked me, say, one of my favorite guys who I like to have been playing with, Fred Lynn, one of my favorite players. Now, I told Tommy Hopper that. You know Tommy Hopper. And
I like Tommy a lot.
Give me a lot of work. You know, we did a lot of base running skills with Tommy Hopper, you know, even taking me I come out at 12 o'clock working with them. And he asked me, I said, well, Fred Lynn was one of my best players I'd seen, who I love to play with, I wanted to play with. And that's
I wish we would have played together, because you would have got on first base, and all I need to do is hit a single and you'd score.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I can score for you.
You can go, my friend.
You know, if I score for Reggie, you know, if I was going to score for
field.
Hey, you know, if I was going to score for Reggie, I could score for you plenty of times. I know.
Oh, if you didn't score for Reggie, he's got a knuckle sandwich for you.
Fred played. That's why I see. I watched Fred and Yaz, and Fred copyright that right quick and took over that challenge in Fenway Park, and he knew where to hit the ball, and it was amazing about that. You know, we couldn't get you out. We was glad to get you and Yaz out that last ending. It was so amazing. I said, well, you know, he's gonna get a hit. He's gonna get a hit somewhere. Fred gonna always get a hit somewhere. I just want to keep a lot of guys off base while getting that hit. And got to talk about Bloomy, you know, we got to talk about each other because we used to that. But this guy down here, that Tion guy, Fred, what did I tell you? It was amazing. He took me under his wing and took care of me. So, therefore,
no, we good. You know what? Let me tell you one thing about it. I just said it before. I love you. Okay, you are good people. You're a good man. And I respect you, because you know what? Every time I see you play hard.
Always.
You work hard, you play hard. And I tell you what, you no second and nobody. I tell you, because you're good, bro. You're a good person. You're a good people. And that's what I respect people.
Right.
People good. People love the game. They play the game hard. And that's what we need to do. That's how we grow up.
Definitely. And that's why I say I like Fred, because every time I see him step on the field, he's doing something amaze me. He amazed me watching him.
Yeah.
And you know how y'all taught me down here in Florida. I watched the game, and we had a lot of American heroes down here. And Louis could tell you, we used to go out there with Casanova, Jackie Hernandez, and the Marcelino Lopez, and all the big guys down there. And you learn, Fred, and I learned. I used to watch it and I had to learn, because they was way better than what we had down here. And they played what we do. And I don't say they play year round. So that made us have that good opportunity chance. You know, anybody from the North, they couldn't beat them guys. That's why these guys are so great.
People don't realize what greatness we have on this screen right here, because what you see baseball nowadays, these guys will give you 4 innings a pitch. They'll pull their oblique. They don't want to play anymore. They don't want to hit anymore. You get the 5-year deals. You get the X amount of dollars, and that's fine. But, the guys that you see up here, these are the guys that really had to work hard and to play baseball and to make it.
Then you forget that we had that fun. It was fun playing. See, now it's a lot different now. We don't take nothing away from them. I know some of the guys will still work hard like we did, but it was fun. And we come up through that measurement, especially Louis, come up to that measurement. Well, he had to be better than the next pitcher or player. And so it's Fred. Fred always proved himself from year to year basis that he could hit the ball. He could hit 300 each year he played. Fred, there wasn't no problem in that. You know, he had a down year. That means he was hurt. And that's most what it's about.
It's different. I think a different mentality. Well, we grew up, the way we grew up, the way we start playing the game. Now it's different. Everything changed. Everything is changed. It's not like they used to be, like you say. I couldn't go play football. You don't have to pay me. I love the game. I want to play. I want to play baseball. You see, now it's different. But I gotta say one thing. You know, people sometimes we get mad. People get mad about some of the players now. But I tell you what, it's not the player fault.
Not the player.
It's the people around the player.
The coaching and all that plays an important part.
They spoiling those kids, and they're making those kids thinking they are superstar before they don't do anything.
Well, they
see, and that's the problem. You see, we have to make
it like Louis.
We have to make it a star.
You played when you was hurt. That's one key thing. You played when you was hurt.
Yeah.
See, and they don't like to play when they're hurt.
But now they
correct.
Don't let it. So they don't let it. They don't let it now. That's the problem.
But when you're contract, you got to play hard. You got to play hard.
Well, another way
the things that is happening in today's world, guys, is that the guys are not using their own senses to play the game. They're getting all this information. Just imagine
all analyticals,
all this information prior to a game, right? So you're like a computer.
Correct.
This was our computer, right? And
well, that's you still go back to what Louis saying. You still go back to school, and that's what they're doing in school.
Right. So and now it's these guys are getting all this information handed to them, and they can't play the game without that information. It seems like it's just the way they brought it. It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
I see. Well, you know what I say, Freddie, all the time. Every time they interview me, I told you, computer is great for the job, for the company, for people who do job and different things, doctors, saying, but baseball, you get better when you are on the field, not on the computer. I don't care what the computer said to you. I don't care what the computer says. You don't go over there.
When you're on that field.
Yeah. And then one thing is, I tell you what, that's how I think, I don't know, we're stupid or we're thinking different.
Well, like Fred said,
I'll tell you what.
That analytics stuff is important part.
Let me say that to you guys. Who invented the computer? A human being, a woman or a man, I don't know what. A human being invented the computer. Everything the computer got him inside there. Who put him in there? A human. Okay. Now
everything we had to do somewhere.
Listen. Yeah, you're gonna listen and that what you can do. You know, you have to do your thing. You know how you get better. You know how you can beat some guy have a better ability than you using your brain.
Correct.
Not the computer. You have to use your brain. That's the only way you're gonna defeat somebody they have a better ability than you have. And that's what I tell all these guys.
I agree with you 100%.
I not putting finger. I not pointing finger nobody. No, this guy, because I see a lot of those guys, they can play. I know, you can take that away from them. Some of those guys, they can play. They're good players.
Yeah.
I know, but the problem is they manipulate. They're telling only what they can do.
Right.
You see?
And
that's wrong.
How about this, Fred? How about the guy that sit on the bench and they have just an opportunity chance to go in like a pitch hitter, platoon player, and if they don't do good, like Louis said, if we didn't do good coming into a game, we'll be traded the next year or on the chopping block.
You go home.
Go home. We got to go home.
Hey, Mickey,
and that's what it was.
Mickey, you got to tell
me. To do with salary too. You know, these guys are making some serious iron, so they're going to stick around regardless of the consequences of how they play. But we didn't make a lot of money early on, especially you guys are a little older than I am, so there wasn't a lot of money. and there were
Right.
plenty of guys that could play right behind you. And so if you didn't,
You're gone.
if you didn't play well, you were gone.
Yeah, out of there. Out of there right quick.
If I may, and this is great. I love this. And Mickey, it's great seeing you. By the way, I did take a selfie.
Well, great seeing you too. You know, we always get chances to see each other, and great seeing. Like I said, I was just Fred, not only saying that I know Fred, one of my great players. We was talking about Louis today. I just got the word out of my mouth and say, "Did you see Louis?" Yeah, I was at the house, and they called me. They called me and asked me. I said, "Well, I'll find him somewhere." I know. I was down in Naples.
What I was trying to say is, you know, we have Marty Appel here, baseball's greatest living historian, and I can't frame the question, and I'm sure Marty could. We have baseball's first designated hitter here. We have the man who pitched the game to him. We have two other guys who played in that game. Marty, anything that we could revisit or say about it, or, you know, you're eloquent.
There were a couple of things that I wanted to drop in if I could. One is 12 years ago, there was a movie made, Lost Son of Havana. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It wasn't just a good baseball movie. It was a terrific movie that makes you laugh and makes you cry. And it was about Louis going back home to Cuba for the first time in many, many, many years. And it was such a
46 years.
movie. You still make any money off that if I plug it?
I don't even know.
It's a beautiful movie.
Plug it. Keep plugging it.
Thank you for participating.
Hey, Marty, I've got a question.
The other thing I wanted to
Thanks
say.
for taking my bat to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Thanks for taking my bat.
You're welcome.
You know, that bat had about 40 hits in it, and you took it on the first game of the season. So I ended up with 11 bats, and then I lost probably about another 6 bats because they stunk, and I had to use everybody else's bats. So thanks for taking my bat.
He was the first DH, as you know, and he walked with the bases loaded in the top of the first. So I got his bat after the game, and I sent it to Cooperstown. And I think it's the only bat in Cooperstown.
It wasn't a hit.
For a walk.
No, make me feel good.
Well,
I screwed up the
Marty
game.
saw a lot of that greatness. Like I say again, you know, you saw a lot of that greatness round from team to team.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mickey, wait a second. You got to talk to Freddie and Louie about our fights that we used to have in the stadium. Remember that?
Where Louis used to get the skates and skate around the stadium. Did you tell that one? Fred,
Yeah.
Fred know that, right? That's it. I didn't say that. Fred, you talking about somebody amazing, Fred. You played with great players and didn't know that culture from him. Fred, you, like I say again, I saw you out in California, and you amazed me out there. And I used to say, man, I'm gonna see this guy someday. And if you want to know the truth, you can ask Andrew. I say, Fred was one of my best players that I wanted to play with.
I appreciate that a lot, Nick.
Because
I
you
enjoyed watching you play.
amazing.
I hated playing against you. I hated that you were a Yankee.
Fred,
Pain in the ass.
you know what got me playing? You know what got me messed up? It was Louis. I was going, Fred. You know that the Mets had drafted me, right? And
I wish they would have signed you.
the Mets had, look how we did this. The Mets had drafted me, and they drafted my kid with Boston. Did I tell you that one?
Oh.
Yeah. I had Mickey Jr. play with the Red Sox organization. I used to go down to Winter Haven when y'all would go down to Winter Haven. And Ted used to help me doing a little work with me and Al Brummy down there helping out with some of the players. Like that.
Didn't know that.
And remember, then you moved from Fort Myers for a while. It was down, right, Louis? When they down there for a while in Fort Myers?
That's Kansas City.
Right? No,
No, but it wasn't for mine. It wasn't for
one
mine.
time it was right, Louis. You had a year or two down there in Fort Myers. See, I remember that.
69, 70. No,
I don't know what year. I can't think of the year, but it was
79.
That was Kansas City was down there.
no.
79 and 80. No, 79 and 80. I played in there. I wasn't.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, Bloomy?
Yeah, and for mine, yeah, we stay in the hotel right by the water.
Right by the water.
Yeah.
That was that, right?
See, amazing it is.
Was that senior league?
No.
No,
that was a team.
Spring training.
That was spring training. That was a spring training section.
But
that's
I thought
when I signed it.
was in Fort Myers.
I'm trying to tell you now. It was in Fort Myers, then they moved to that new field in.
Oh yeah, the Red Sox moved there.
Right.
Yeah.
Winhaven.
Yeah. I hated
it was there.
Right.
It was
See?
there. The 2 years I played, it was there. For mine.
Right.
I don't know after that or before.
Yeah, they should throw Winter Haven down the river.
Yeah.
That's where I ran into the wall in spring training in what was it, 70?
That Winter Haven.
Yeah,
that Winter Haven.
I ran into a wall in spring training, and Billy Martin. I'm playing playing left field, and somebody hits the ball to me in left. I forgot who hit the ball to me in left field. I'm running towards it, hit the wall, went splattered against the wall, and Billy Martin comes running out. He said, "Are you okay?" And I'm looking at Herman Snyder. Remember Herman Snyder? I remember Herman trying to run out there. And he was losing, and he weighed probably about 450 pounds in, and he was running out there. And he was like crying, he was sweating like he's looking.
They tried to peel him off the wall, Louis. Peel him off the wall. You were like what that guy named? You were like Pete Reese. You remember Pete?
Yeah. Oh, that was like Gary.
Marty, I didn't know what I'm talking about. Marty.
Where'd you get that from?
Pete used to tell me, "Kid, you got to get this ball, catch this ball like this." And he'll run into the wall. Marty will tell you, he'll run to the wall. It wouldn't stop full speed. I said, wait a minute here. I sit there and watch Tommy Harper. Yeah, you had Tommy Reynolds. Louis probably knows more than me. And you had Jarvis Tatum's.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
And, I know Louis will know if I call these names.
Yeah.
And these guys used to play so hard. And they had a guy named Billy Collins.
Fred and Mickey.
And my favorite guy, you thought was going to be the next Mickey Mouse, I thought Roger Repos. How about that, Bloomy?
Repo.
Tell him he never hit the ball. He never hit the ball.
I ain't got nothing to say about that. Roger Repos. They supposed to be the next Mickey Mouse. Fred, this guy supposed to be the next Mickey Mouse. Roger Repos.
He never hit the ball fair. He used to hit line drives like over into right field stands. He never hit the ball fair. Did he ever hit the ball fair, Mickey?
I said, Fred, you probably saw him play when you was out there. He used to hit. I ain't never seen a guy could pull the ball the long ways hitting the back was over the first base head and back. I ain't saying get but about 2 hits since I've been there sitting on the bench watching. It was a tough team because you had what the big guy named? He got the big Rick Riker. How about that, Louis? Rick Riker.
He was one of the original bonus babies.
He was the first draft choice.
You got that? You remember that? He was one of the original bonus babies out there.
Yeah, he was the first draft pick.
That was Rick Monday.
And he went to the Angels, right?
He went to the Angels, and then we sent him to Chicago. And I think we got Rick Berry. Was it some kind of Berry? Ken Berry.
Right.
Right, Louis? Hey, Marty, help me out. Marty, come on. Marty, Ken Berry, wasn't a guy named Ken Berry.
Yeah, center field for the White Sox.
Center fielder.
Yeah. We sent Rick Riker over there, and we got Ken Berry and Oh my God, Fred, you talking about some player then. I know you remember that. Wasn't he out of California when he got that money?
Yeah, you traded speed for power.
That's it.
You have Alex Johnson then? Did you have AJ then?
I watched AJ win the bank title.
You got to listen to this. Mickey, tell them about the story about AJ that played left field. They didn't want to get hot, and he kept on moving with the sun.
Well, Louis, the only one was strong enough to talk to him, but you couldn't talk to a guy, Alex Johnson. You couldn't talk to him because hey, we had the manager, Lefty Phillips. He put him out there in left field. He put me in center, and now I looked over. I was scared to tell him to move over. Say, well, play off the center field. Say we'll play a bunch together, Fred. And you know how you move me in or move it, and you looked at him like that. And he looking at the sun, and he like this with his hands crossed like this. In his chest, he got his hands crossed on his chest, and you look at him like this and say, hey. And he look at you, and that stayed there. And if the sun shaded towards wherever he had to go, to that line, Fred, he'd get to that foul line, and don't go over it. He'll stand right close to the line. And won't move. True story. And you look at the ball, he say, well, he put you out here to get the ball, catch the ball. It ain't my job to catch, my job to hit.
He expected you to catch all those balls in left center, didn't he?
Fred, you kind of
guys like that.
Well, you know, you're young, but you're kind of scared of the big guys, you know, because the big guy. One thing about it, he beat Yaz out that year for the bank title by a percentage point. He beat Yaz out.
Like that.
Yeah.
Remember that, Louis?
Yeah.
Louis, no. And he was a good hitter to me.
Yeah,
he always would say, I hit
and he can run too. Fred, he can run too.
Oh, he can run.
When he hit in Fenway in the 12th inning, the first week he was with the Yankees, we played a 12-inning game in Fenway. He hit a walk-off. He hit not a walk-off because it was the top of the inning, but he hit a homer in the 12th inning, which won the game. And then he never used to shower. He would just throw on his clothes and disappear.
Yeah, but he had power too. Louis can tell you that. I was shocked.
He sounded like he ever ran, so he didn't need to.
And he was a big guy, and he could outrun Blooming.
Yeah. He was there with
stand in the shade all the time and not run any balls out. Why did he take a shower?
Oh, he never took a shower. He would
Fred,
always. No,
Fred, by the time the game over, and you're shaking each other's hand, right?
I don't want to hit traffic. He said, I don't want to hit traffic. And he never did, because the people were still standing, watching, you know, I mean, still getting ready.
Yeah. No, we shaking hands, congratulating each other. We congratulating each other after coming off the field, and by the time we get in the locker room, he gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
No neck. We had no neck then. Remember, we had no neck.
But no neck was, no neck was a good football player.
Oh, he was a great football player.
He was a better football player than he was a baseball player.
You know, he was out in San Francisco. He was the #1 running back,
right?
In whatever year in the country.
Okay.
Right, in the country.
Neck was, and you know, when somebody asked me, did he really have a neck? I had to go up to him and look at his neck, and he actually had a neck.
Louis, how about him and Roy? The manager had tell a story about him and Roy when the manager had him come and take some extra swings because they wasn't hitting good.
Oh no! Him and, who was it? AJ. They're taking swings in the batting cages, and it was Bill Verdon was the manager.
Bill Verdon, right? Tell Fred like that.
And looking at Roy. Roy was hitting the ball pretty well, right-handed, and he looked at him swinging left-handed, and he said, I don't think you're ever going to make the big leagues, you know, how you swing left-handed. You're so weak. And Roy's probably hit maybe 75, 80 home runs left-handed and probably hitting 280, 285. And Bill Verdon said, you'll never hit like this. You'll never hit like this. And, it was, I mean.
He talking about the pitch. Remember? He talking about the pitch.
It was. Let me.
So Fred, he started throwing to him, right? And he started hitting fastball. He started hooking the ball a little bit, and they couldn't touch it. Him and Walt couldn't hit the ball. They couldn't even touch the ball.
And then Verton comes up to Roy and said, "You can't hit. You can't hit left-handed. I want you just to hit right-handed." And, you know, this guy was one of the best switch hitters that the Yankees ever had. And that's the story. But we had some characters.
And what he told him, Bloomer, you ain't tell what he told him.
What did he say to him?
He started touching the ball, hitting the ball just a little bit. And what he told him.
You got to tell me.
Remember? He said, how I'm looking now. Yeah, Bill Burton. He said, how I look now.
No, Bill was a tough guy to Marty, remember? You know, I mean,
what we saying that?
You know, Bill Burton. You never played for Billy, did you, Freddie? You never played for Burton. We could make
Eddie to play for him
because he's always his forearms was as big as his legs, and used to walk out. You know, we used to call him Popeye, and he was like a military guy. He looked like a buzz cut, and he was
like Joe Girardi.
Yeah, but Joe, you know what?
Yeah, Joe different. Well, you coming back with the youth now. This is younger now. He was an old Bill Burton.
Maybe a little bit better, you know, coach. Maybe a little bit better manager.
How about? I had another manager. How about Dick Williams? I think Freddie got a little taste of him.
I never
played for Dick. He was with Oakland. You know, in fact, I saw Dick Williams after the '75 season.
Right.
And we were doing some game show, and he said, "Hey, kid, we'll see how you hit next year on your back."
That's right. That's right. I tell you, another billion.
To these guys.
Well, Louis has some good. I think Louis has some good managers. How about over there in Cleveland, Louis? Who you had over there?
Sam, McDowell, and then you had. It was always Sam throw 200 miles an hour, and then we had Louis probably threw 101. And you know,
Fred, follow me back to California. Like Louis tell me.
Tony Seaver and
Steve Harden. Louis them that beat us. Fred, we get to the 8th inning, Fred. No hitter. Get a walk. If I get a walk, Alamar get a little dribble. I steal a base. Alamar get a little dribble. Fly ball. We score a run, and we beat him. He threw this. He started throwing this. Now, he don't blow the fastball by us. We ain't never hit the fastball. We ain't touch the fastball. Louis tell you. 8 innings like this. Now all of a sudden, he throw one little pitch. We get a little small ball in the infield or something like that. We score the run. We end up beating him. We never got no hits to beat Louis and Sam in Cleveland. We managed to beat him. Yeah. And we ain't never beat nobody consistent with that Angel team we had.
Louis
was a pretty weak squad you had out there.
You got there, y'all had a pretty great squad. Y'all had a great team there. You got all the good guys there bundled up. And then y'all had Don Baylor here left, did he?
We had Don Baylor, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, and
the catcher. Then you have
Bobby Grich,
and you had
Boone.
Tennis.
It was an all-star in every position.
Well, Fred had what we had. He had Reggie.
Yeah, that's right.
Bloomy favorite player. I'm sorry, Marty. That's Marty's favorite player, so I like to talk about it too much. Fred, one day he was out there picking up all the candy bars. I told you that story, didn't
it? Yeah.
Remember the candy
I couldn't believe it. They throw about Marty tell you, it throw about 500,000 candy bars on the field, and we still playing. So they called time out to pick up some of the candy bars, couldn't get the ball. So they pushed him around the side of the fence. Saying we started playing. The ball hit in the corner near the candy bars, and Reggie went over there to pick the ball up and said, "Throw it, get it, Reggie, right there, get it." He picked up 100 candy bars before he got the ball. So I went over there, pick up the ball, and throw it in. When I got in, didn't I tell you to get the ball? Didn't I tell you let Reggie get the ball? I said, go, the ball right in front of him. He just messed up picking up all the candy bars. Oh, he fined me. I got fined that day. I got fined. He fined me. I got fined $500 fine. That's Bloomy. I got fined for not going over there playing the ball. And from then on, Fred, that's why I told you about you in the outfield. When the ball come to Reggie, he'll look like this. Look at me. I said, catch the ball. Don't look at me. We had to argue about that. He'll look at me. Then the manager told you to catch it. I said, yeah, if you don't catch the ball, we're going to fight right now. And that's what it started about. That's Bloomy. Marty know, but Marty don't want to talk about a lot of deep, major details like that.
You guys remember?
I have a Reggie story. Marty, I'm sorry, but I do have a Reggie story. So Reggie's in right, I'm in center. We're playing in Baltimore. And I'm shading, I forget who's hitting, but I'm shading over to left center and drives it into right center. So I start running and I'm looking at Reggie and he's not moving. So I bust my butt and I dive and I make a snow cone catch right in front of their bullpen. And Reggie's standing over me and he goes, boy, you didn't get a very good jump on that one. And their bullpen's laughing. Oh, God, I'm going.
Fred, but if you saw that game, remember the game he took? Remember he put Paul Blair in that game? If you forget about that game early, that ball come out there and I ran over there and because I'm watching Reggie and I'm watching him like this, pat his glove and the ball was over his head. I went and caught it. When I got in, Billy said, why you catch that ball? I said, I called for it. The next one was similar to the same play. And then the result with the one with, Jim Rice? Remember that one?
Yeah.
That took the cake then. I couldn't take the blame for that one then. For me, let me tell you, I don't think he picked up the ball that day, put it that way. Bad as me and them get along, but I didn't think it was picking up the ball good that day, really. Billy asked me, why you catching all them balls? And I'm watching him, Fred, you know how you playing center field and you watch your player and you kind of drifting over. And I'm watching the position he in, and the ball was steady going over his head. And he just like this patting his glove. And I ran over there and caught it. It was amazing. But that Jim Rice, I couldn't take the cake. But what you thought about that play? Fred, you was there.
You could cover some ground, Mick. So everybody relied on you to catch everything.
No, don't get into it.
Every manager you ever played for wanted you to catch everything. So the guys on your flanks just got out of your way, let Mick catch it.
This guy made the Yankees go. People don't realize this guy. Okay, it's this guy, Willie batting second, and Thurman batting third. And those three guys right there. I mean, you're talking about thoroughbreds. Those guys are thoroughbreds right there. And whenever Mickey got on, it's a 1-0 game. 2-0 game.
Well, I'm like Fred. Fred, when I feel this, that's the same way I feel about Fred. And you had Fred in there because Fred could hit all the positions. See, there's a difference. See, one guy, I love to lead off. You know that. I can't say that. Second, get the ball on the ground. But other than that, I ain't like Fred. Fred was multiple hitters in the position. I can hit Fred from 1 to 9 in there and get my results. And that's what I liked about the way how he played. I know I was going to get some results.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I hit just about in every spot in the lineup because at the beginning of my career,
it didn't bother you because you could do it. You could do it. If I'm like you having a bad day, I ain't say, well, you have to play no matter what. If you having a bad day or whatever. Because you're going to make the team more morale around you. And that was the key thing about you. When you out, we know we had one. I'm serious. That's how we feel. Hey, we got Fred out, work on your ass, and we through. We get Rice, let Rice hit his little ball. And that was the whole key thing to it.
And you forgot about George Scott.
Well, the boomer,
he was a ball player.
Every time he'll go everywhere. Then y'all sent him to Milwaukee, remember?
Yeah. And you brought Cecil Cooper in, right? Yes.
How about the game?
We traded Cooper to Milwaukee.
No. Yeah. How about Bill Lee? Remember that game? He got mad with somebody because I think there was a delay. When that's a delay game, and then they let him pitch. end up winning that game. He was pissed off. He didn't get a chance to pitch. Remember that delay, Louis? We had that delay, and then he didn't pitch. Y'all put somebody else in, and we end up with Bob Stanley or something like that. Wasn't Bob Stanley over there for a while? Relief coming in.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Stanley, yeah.
Jim Longberg. No, Jim was a starter.
I don't think Fred was there.
It was Roger
Jim
Moret.
Blomberg was before me.
It was Roger.
Stanley.
Yeah, I think that was. You had Rico. How about Rico? When I saw him, they had Rico and who they had in shortstop.
Rico was the shortstop.
Who?
Petroselli.
And Hobson was third base, right?
No. Rico was playing. When you had Rico Petroselli on third or short or something like that, and you had who that was, Louis, playing shortstop. Then y'all sent him to Chicago or something like that. Wasn't he over there for a while? Who I'm thinking about? I thought he was the best shortstop.
Burleson?
Louis Aparicio.
Louis Aparicio.
Wasn't he over there?
Eso was Saturday, yeah.
In
When I come in
74,
71, it was there. 71.
I'm trying to tell you now. Fred, you talk about something, and you sit back and watch as you know, as the younger player, and if that was amazing. I like the big guys, you know. And Louis and these guys was small, petite guys, and they got the job done. You can hear it.
Louis, he called you little. He called you little.
Billy, go ahead, Bill.
Louis, go get him.
Who?
And that was big key.
Who?
Yeah, that was a big key. You had Cosman Fisk. You got him from Chicago too, wasn't it? Wasn't he in Chicago, or you went to send him back to Chicago? First you had what the name? Who I used to like over there, but it is a catch. Louis. Who was the catcher? Joe somebody was for the Sox at the time.
We got more. Where, in Boston?
What it was?
Or in Chicago? I don't know.
Yeah, you know it.
I mean, the one in Boston was Fisk and Montgomery.
Bob Montgomery. Then you had somebody else.
Yeah.
Jerry Moses.
Yeah.
Then you had the left-hand hitter. No, he was in Chicago, right?
No, but no Moses. Moses go at that time. We got when Fisk was there was Fisk, Montgomery, and another guy.
Yeah, one more catcher.
Mundurk-Tree.
Who?
Mundurk-Tree.
No.
Yeah.
Before
That's it.
Yeah.
Jerry McNerney?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Henderson. He had Henderson. He just went up.
Yeah, Manatri. Yeah. That's it.
Then you had.
You guys talking too much way back.
Yeah. What about? I remember when you got Doug Griffin. How about Doug Griffin? You got Doug Griffin and put him on second. You got Doug Griffin and put him on second. I remember that time when they got Doug Griffin. Y'all remember him? Look.
Griffin, I knew Doug. He was my fishing buddy, and we actually came from the same high school out of Southern California.
Really?
And we had the same coach. Obviously, Doug was a little bit older than I was, but we had two guys.
So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You know what I'm talking about? And then when y'all broke up my 1-2 punch, you got by who I had hidden behind me, and sometimes I put him in the front. Who was it? Fred?
Willie.
No. Played second base for him.
Are you talking about Brian Doyle?
No, not before that. After that. Jerry.
Kenny.
Remy.
Jerry Remy.
Oh, Jerry Remy. Yeah, right.
Jerry,
Dog.
1-2 punch man.
With all these names, how come
Burleson.
calling you Stremski?
Remy came from Anaheim.
Yeah, because y'all got all the second base from the Angels. You got especially you had Doyle, Brian, not Brian. You had Denny Doyle.
Denny Doyle, right?
Griffin.
Carew.
You got Doug Griffin or something like that, and then you got Jerry Remy. And then you got one time you
know
had
your guys.
Remember, I remember one time I think you had Connie Lampard over there for a little while.
No, he's third base.
He played
Third base. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I remember him over there for a little while. Hey, Fred, did you know Papa Jack?
Oh yeah, I played with Papa Jack with the California Angels.
Huh.
Yeah,
Down
he
more.
could rake. He could hit, but he had trouble with the old leather.
Yeah, you're right.
Jack.
Yeah,
Jack could hit though.
Papa Jack. I
Mickey,
had Papa Jack.
Mickey, do you remember a game in Fenway where a fan threw a dart on the field and it landed in Chris Chambliss's arm?
Well, that's what Fred was talking about when they throwed all that stuff out there.
But a dart landed in Chambliss's arm.
Right? Fred, I tell you, one year I was playing right field, and I land in the stands trying to catch a ball. The ball hit me, and I jumped, and before I know it, I was 5 rows up in the stand. And you know, you got in right field, Fred, you know, I had the rails. I land right between the rails. Bless me that time. I'm serious.
I'm surprised you got out of there.
I think you had Cecil Cooper. Was Cecil Cooper over there? Wasn't he over there for a little while?
Yes, Cooper was there. Yep.
Cecil Cooper. And I was amazed. I said, oh my God. And the right hand hitter you had, I think we lost him. Another good right hand hitter you had back there with Yaz at the time. He was
I'm just checking out the time. It's time for me to hit the road. So I enjoyed the talk. Thanks, Ron, for having me on. Appreciate it very much.
Freddie, Marty,
Thank you,
Mickey, Dan,
well, it's a pleasure, guys.
Thank you.
Louis. Thank
Thank
y'all
you,
very
guys.
Thank y'all very
Nice
much for
to
doing this.
see
Really,
you.
I appreciate it very
Means an
much.
awful
I
lot.
love talking with you all.
anything
Great
that y'all
fun.
need.
Thank you.
Fred, we'll give you a shout out.
Thank
I
you.
love y'all, big
Thank
guys.
you. Nice to see you
Y'all the
guys.
best.
Good to see you,
Yeah, see
Al.
Danny on
Good
there.
to see you, my friend.
One
Okay.
last
Take
You
thing.
care of
guys take care, okay?
Louis, take care of
Love
mama.
you
Okay?
all.
One last
care.
thing
Take
before
Take care of
care,
mama,
okay?
big guy.
one
Love
last
y'all.
thing before
Okay,
anyone
Let Joe say.
Thanks, Joe.
Love you guys.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Marty.
you.
Freddie,
guys,
All
you're
right,
all
buddy.
welcome to come
Wait,
back
wait, 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 wait.
anytime.
see
Bye,
you.
Mary. Bye, Mary. Thank
Wait,
you, guys.
El Tiante, great to see you.
Yep. Me too, man. You
Marty,
take care,
thank you
okay?
very much, big guy.
God
You're the
bless you,
best.
you and your family, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I guess I'll go with Danny and Louie and probably spend the weekend.
Where you are? You are in Florida now?
Yeah,
You in Florida?
Yeah.
Miami?
right, Miami.
You're not with Jim
Miami.
Boy?
Yeah, that's
You're not with Jimmy? You're not in the Villages?
No, I'll probably go down there after I leave from here first.
Okay. Okay.
I'll come down there at that end.
I love you, big
Always
guy.
see Danny and Louie down there.
Know you guys.
All right, before we all
you
go, I
guys
guess
take
everybody
care.
go, which
Love
is
you, my
fine.
son.
All right.
Danny, love you.
Joe, it was good.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank again Andrew Levy for arranging for Mickey Rivers to join us tonight.
Yeah, leaving.
Andrew.
Yes, and thank you, Andrew.
Andrew, thank you, big guy.
Thank you,
Thank
Lee.
you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you for having
Thanks,
me.
Louie.
Dan,
Love you.
Thank you,
big
guys.
guy.
Thank
Love
you.
y'all guys.
Love you. I
I
love you
love you,
guys too.
Mickey.
Thank you.
Love you, big guy.
All
Thank
right.
you, brother. Thank
Let
you.
me give
Bye.
you a shout out.
Bye.
Yeah. Look what he said.
All right, he's gone. I think El Tiante's still here, but he's probably muted. Oh, that was some show tonight, Joe.
I think this was an all-star cast, man. This was absolutely awesome show. This was
Yeah,
great. I mean,
We have to get them back again.
yeah, we need to come back and revisit this and do this show, second show for the stories. This was incredible. This was really good. I think this has to be the best show we've had thus far.
I also think on nights when Ron can't do this, we could probably have Mickey come on as the host.
Yes. Oh my God, this was great. Thank you to Andrew Levy for arranging this.
Yeah, that was very cool. All right, next week, next Tuesday, we are going to be back. It should be a very interesting guest. He's not a Yankee, he's not a Red Sox, he's not a Met. We're going to have Mark Wohlers, actually, he did pitch for the Yankees, I think in either 2000 or 2001, but he's more notable as a closer for the Braves in the 90s. And he did play in a couple of World Series against the Yankees. And then he did play on a Yankee World Series team, although I don't know if he was in the postseason roster or not. But apparently he works at the same gym as Ron, and he'll be joining us next week. And we're going to have some more guests lined up for the following weeks. And thank you very much, everybody, for joining in.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you guys next week.